Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the series Understanding Your ICF Credentials. Today, I'm going to be talking about the mistakes, the number one mistakes 97% of new coaches make. And what could that really be? Well, if you read this, it's actually about the aha moment. Are we, as coaches, and we've all done this, at least I have done it definitely, waiting for the client to get to that aha moment, just um, approaching the client and wanting the client to have that aha moment. When I was a client, the first time I had a coaching session, and in fact, few of the times that I had a coaching sessions, um, I got that aha moment. I had like this illuminating moment, then that the lights bulbs that it just completely light up in my mind. It was like about a relationship. Um, what needs to be changed in the relationship, and as a coach you would understand that it's all about you. It's as a client, it's about me. What do I want to change within myself to be able to sustain the change in the relationship? And I came to the coaching session with the mindset that, no, it's the other person that needs to change. It's I am tired of giving my 100%. I'm giving 200% to this relationship, and nobody is wanting to change. And it's just getting too much for me to take on anymore. And with this kind of a mindset, I was in the coaching session. And somewhere in that coaching session, I got this feeling at the pit of my stomach that says that, oh, it's something that I have also been holding on to. It's possibly me who's not responding in the way that I have to, which is causing the other person to respond in the way that I don't like the other person to respond. And that moment itself was like, okay, a game changer for the entire session. Uh, that's what the aha moment is. As coaches, as clients, we've all experienced that. Uh, and that's something that we actually look forward to in a coaching session. We want our clients to experience that aha moment. We wait that, okay, now this aha moment good is going to happen. This illumination is going to happen. And the client is going to say, it's like, I have never really thought about anything like this ever before. It gives us as coaches a high as well, right? But it's not always true. Every coaching session will not have the client getting that aha moments, that moment that says that, okay, now going forward, my life is going to absolutely change. Sometimes coaching is just about deep reflection. Sometimes it's also going to be about, okay, now I have discovered this much, and going forward, what else do I need to do? Just taking time, just pausing for a moment and reflecting on whatever needs to be done, and from there taking it forward. So many coaches I have seen actually wait for this moment, this time in that coaching session, whatever period that coaching session is for, whether it's a 30-minute session or a 60-minute session, or whatever the duration of the session is, not doesn't matter. But a lot of new coaches actually feel that their coaching is not successful if the client has not had that peak state of realization that says that, okay, I have never really thought about it like this before. This has just come to me, and oh, I'm so thankful to you. If your client does not have that moment in that time, it's absolutely okay. It's okay to say that, okay, I have uh, not had that moment in time. In fact, don't wait for that moment. It's absolutely something which no experienced coach, no outstanding coach is going to wait for it. It's lovely to have it, but it does not happen. Be assured that your work as a coach is to bring the client to realization. And that can happen even after the coaching session, isn't it? You've got the person to a certain state, okay? You've got the person to a certain level of reflection. And that reflection might continue after the session as well. And it's the follow up, then that becomes very, very essential. Another mistake which I find happens even more often than this one is that once that moment of realization has happened, both for the coach and for the client, they're kind of coming closer together and wanting to close the session. It's just like, okay, Yes, I have got the answer. I know exactly what I have wanted to do, and I'm just going to go out and implement this right now. Okay. And therein closes the session almost immediately. This is what is this when this happens, uh, it can actually lead to a moment of realization, a complete discovery, but they're not implementing it. If you're not actually helping the client sustain the change, you've attained some kind of a change, you've attained some kind of realization, but how do you actually sustain it and retain it? Is something which becomes very, very important. So earlier on in my coaching sessions, I would be with my client, and my client would have these aha moments, this moment of realization that this is how I want to do things in my business, this is how I want to go forward, no matter what the coaching session was about. And once this happened, I was like super happy, like, okay, this is what I am here for, and I can help the people get in touch with whatever they want to. And I would go to my mentor and I would tell him, okay, this is what happened, and then this is what happened, and this is what happened. And you know what? My client said this, that I have never had this thought. I have never really experienced this. It's life changing game for me. And in that moment, my coach, my mentor, would generally just sit quietly without saying anything. And it's like, and then. And it's like, are you not listening? This has already happened. The client has already had the change. And his only question sitting quietly would be, and then what? What was the next thing that you did? And in my defense, in my arrogance, in my know it all attitude, it's like, you just don't want to be happy for me. You're just not wanting to understand the client has already had this illumination. And of course, very patiently, he would guide me forward and say, the goal setting is also very important. It's very important to help the client understand what are the challenges that the client will face when the client is implementing this. Okay, now that the realization has happened, what is it that the client has to do next? What are the action steps? What is the internal and external challenges that the client will face? What are the resources that the client needs? Everything that's around it. It's very, very important to help the client implement, understand those as well, and then the follow up that happens afterwards. So, this entire bridging that happens, and of course, I was not very ready to listen because I've just had a very good coaching session. So, but yes, I realized in due course of time how important it is because the client will keep on failing even after that. If the goal setting was not done properly, if this realization of what now? Okay, now that you've had this realization, what are you ready to change about yourself? What are you ready to take responsibility for? Okay, one is realization. It's great that you've had this realization, but what is the one thing that you're ready to take responsibility for and to change about yourself? Or change about the situation or whatever, in that coaching session, whatever is the most important thing. After the aha moment, how do you end the session is very, very important. In my coaching sessions and many, many coaching sessions that I have evaluated, I have seen that the moment the client has a realization, the coach is in the hurry to close the session now. Okay, now the client has had this realization. Now let's just close it. You know, the coach is feeling good, the client is feeling good, but what is happening after that is very important. And and it determines the ROI of the session. It determines of whether the client is actually getting the solution implemented or not. So that's the number one mistake to my mind that many coaches make. And if you are a new coach, or if you're already in your journey and you've not yet realized it, that this is something that you do in your coaching session, please go ahead and rectify yourself. Because again, as my mentor says, any mistake is when you miss to take it. Okay, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes, we go on make mistakes, but make a mistake, but don't miss to take the lesson from it. So go ahead, take the lesson from it. What what do you do when your client has this aha moment? What do you do? What is the next things that come to your mind which you think is essential as a coach to do, as a client to keep in mind? Do let us know in the comments. And if you want to know more about how to apply for your ICF credentials, how can you be a wonderful and outstanding coach as well. We as Inner Shift coaches take you through the entire credentialing process of ACC, PCC, and MCC credentials. The mentoring, evaluation, everything is inbuilt in it. And of course, um, for any queries that you have about the goal setting of after the aha moment or about the credential, please leave a comment, write back to me, message me, and I will get in touch with you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye. Take care.